G'day folks, in this video I'll show you how you can solve the Crazy Grills Jupiter. This Jupiter puzzle is basically the opposite of the Mercury. So the Jupiter has the white face as a zero face where those center parts stay fixed. And all the other faces are one faces, and you can see that the center parts turn with the face. And this puzzle is probably, in terms of the two opposites, this is the easiest of the type where we're reducing it to a grills cube. The Mercury, Venus, Earth, we're actually reducing that to a crazy grills or a circle grills, if you like, sort of where all the faces are zero faces. So this approach here is a little bit different from the Mercury. And the first thing that we're going to do is to reduce the edge wings. So here's the edge wings. On the Mercury, we're going to see that we actually want to make all the circle parts in here first, get a complete circle. Completely different here. We want to just treat these parts here as a single part. So in other words, you can see there that that orange-green edge wing requires an orange circle edge wing and a green circle edge wing to be reduced. That's the sort of thing we're going for. Now these come in two flavors, if you like, two sides. I've got sort of a side that lives here and a side that lives here. So what I do is always do this one first, or these ones first, I should say, and then these ones after that. So the technique here is, you'll notice that this has a green circle edge wing sitting there. And over here, one turn away, and of course this could be one turn away, two turns away, one turn over here, doesn't matter, just so that it'll actually turn on. That green piece is able to turn on to the circle wing. So that's good. And what's going to happen is, essentially, I'm going to run a 3 cycle. I'm going to have the green outer go to the green inner. And I note that that's a red outer. So there's going to be a third piece living down here. And I either want to find a red inner down here, or, looking at this piece, an orange outer. Let's run this on the piece without looking at anything else, just to see how it works. I want to move it there to attach it. I then want to grab that, rotate the corner into that position, and then now replace this with something from here. So let's say that there's that white blue piece. I could just go up, up, down, down. Now that's been replaced, and we think, where is that green piece? There it is on the bottom there. That's the one we just made. Now I'll return this by turning the corner and then undo the face turn. There's a couple of things going on there. That's it, by the way. The first thing is, yes, we made that. The second thing is, at this point, we don't have to worry about which corners to keep in place and things like that. So we can turn any corners we like with abandon. The third thing is, now we're going to have a look at how we would do it to get at least 2 of these things done, which is what I like to do all the time. So I would say there's a blue inner. So I'm going to find a blue outer piece that would be in the correct position. Now, on this one, I can see there's actually 2 blue outers. So if I think about how do I get it to there, it's clearly going to be that blue outer there, and I'm going to be turning it in that direction. So I've got a blue outer going to the blue inner. What I would normally do is say that is a yellow inner, or a yellow circle piece. So on the bottom, I would like a yellow outer piece, which is going to then be able to turn back onto that yellow inner. So that's positioned really nicely. So let's run this again. We turn that across to attach, turn the corner down, now replace it with this one. That's done. Undo that corner turn, undo the face turn, and you'll notice that that yellow has come back there. Now, in terms of these things here, it's only affected that one, and that one. And can't remember if that's the green or if it's another one floating around, but maybe it's that one there, I think, actually, that blue. That's the green we did first. So we can happily just ignore all the other pieces that we're not using and do that. Let me do one more of them for now. There's a white that's there. There's a white outer, so that's set up. And I notice that is an orange circle. So I'm going to try and find an orange outer piece that will be good. And I can't find any on the bottom, so I'll have a think and say, you know what, that orange outer, if I put it into that position, that is the correct line. So that tells me that's good. I'm going to bring it down to the bottom face. Like so, it's sitting around here now. And I'm now ready to go white to white. And then this red outer will go to there. And in fact, I'm going to get 3 done in one hit, which is even better. So here we go. The white goes there. The corner turns down. And now I can move that to the bottom, replace it with that new one, undo, put it up to the top, return it, 1, 2, wherever the third one is. Can't even think now, can't remember. Might be that one there. But in any event, that's 3 done. That is what we're aiming for. Now, on the other side, so this region here, basically you're looking for the same thing, except your piece is now going to be here or here or here. And everything's a mirror. So I would firstly try and find a piece that doesn't have a correct connection there. So that red circle piece, I would say, do I have a red outer here or here or here? I don't. Can I put one there? Yes, I can. There's one that's opposite, so that's going to work. So I've got the red outer going to there, and I know that that's a blue circle piece. So down the bottom here, I now want to have a blue circle piece essentially in that position. That's what I'm aiming for, because that's the one that's going to turn correctly. So let's see. That there looks good because that corresponds to that position. So that should be fine. It means I can turn it round to there and bring it up to that side. Everything's the mirror. Okay, so let's do the double face turn. Instead of turning it around this way, I'm going to turn it around this way. So it's now sitting here, and now you can see I replace it with that piece. That's done. Undo that corner turn, undo the face turn. That blue has been done. You'll notice this thing, if you were watching, that was unmoved because I've only dealt with these pieces here, nothing else. So that is what we do. I'm going to continue working through them and come back in near the end just to show one little case. Well, we've just got 2 left here. I've got a white orange and an orange white. And the question is, how do you deal with that? You basically look and say, well, the orange is going to come to there, and then that white piece is going to be replaced by something else. And that white piece needs a white circle part, and I also need a white outer part to come back to that white circle part. And so what that tells me is that down here, I need a complete white piece on the correct side. So let's just see, first of all, if I can get one. I reckon it'll be that one there. That one here is going to turn up to that position. Okay, so I turn the orange on. I rotate the corner, now replace it with the completed white piece. Return the corner. That completed white piece is there. When I turn that around, this one comes around to meet it as well. That's the hardest you'll get there. If you end up having, say, I don't know, in fact, this is not possible, but you had 2 on the same thing, it just means they're different orbits and you need to do each one separately, but you would actually have another 2 somewhere as well. Okay, so that has reduced all of the edge wings. The next thing we want to do is reduce all of the central edges. So these bits here. So that blue one is reduced, the yellow one is not. Now the way we're going to do this is, firstly, we're going to get all edge wings of the same color onto the white face. I normally do white just because no reason whatsoever. They don't have to be paired at all. They just need to be white, white, all the way around, or whatever your choice of color is. So let's say that I want to see if I can get this one. Yep, so I want to put that one into that position. So I'm going to turn that position down and then turn it up and then undo that corner turn. And that puts that one there without disturbing what was here. So that's 4 done. Let's see if we can find another one we can just turn up with the face turn. Let's Let's go find another one. There's one here, so, and in fact there's two there, so let's bring them out of that side part. Do something similar. Going to be turning it down to there. That'll work. So I'll turn this to there. And remember, this is just set up to allow us to do what we need to do to reduce these central edges. Two more to go before I start. Now I can put that one. In fact, I could see, I could just turn those two together before I turn them up. All right. Now the reason for doing this, as you probably see, is that when I turn the white face now, it does not disrupt any of the edge wings that I just made. That's the purpose of that. Now to do the central edges, really simple. What I want to do is just start looking at one that's not done and just look at the outer. And so that's an outer red. I want to turn it around to an inner red or a circle red. Hey, there's already one there. That's fantastic. Then I look at this outer part, which is a blue. I now want to put a blue circle part there. How do I do that? Well, any form of turns like this blue one here is going to come up to there. But I don't just want to turn it up like that because it knocks out the white pieces I had. So what I do is something like an up, up, down, down, just involving those three pieces. You can see that blue's gone up to there now. Then I would look at the green. So I need a green inner to be there. And again, there's a green inner here. So I can just go up, up, down, down. And that's all I want to do. I started here. When I turn the face now, I'm going to have those three correctly reduce. And there will normally be a fourth one left over that is not. And so I start doing the same thing again. That's a red outer. I'm going to find a red inner. You'll get to know a few places where these things live, but there's a red inner there. So I can't just move that down or turn it down. I could potentially turn it down and just put it on the bottom face and then return that white piece. That's okay because it's kept all the white edge wings there. Now, how do I get that red inner to there? If it's directly below, it's very simple. Turn its position down, put it on, turn its position up. There we go. That's an orange outer. I need an orange inner. I'm actually going to try and find one that's in the other place that they normally live. I can always do that sort of thing. And yeah, that place is here. And that's another way that's very easy to get up to here. What I want to do is turn the position across to there. Instead of turning it up from there, turn it up this way. That orange piece is now on there. Put it back. So far I've got red going to there, orange going to here, white. I'd like a white inner or a green outer if I want to place that one. Well, that's already done. So let's put a white inner or a white circle one there. There's one in fact, this one here is great because that is a white inner, which is not yet done. There we go. Now I turn around. There's the next one. I just continue doing that. And I will cut back in for the one case that is slightly tricky at the end. All right, now this is what I was talking about, is that we've got one of these central edges left and the colors are swapped. So the way to approach this is to involve another piece of the same color. And you can see over the other side, I've got a blue. And I want that opposite, but also I need two opposite pieces on the other one. So there's an orange there. I'd like to put an orange there or else leave that green and put a green over here. Doesn't really matter. There's an orange down the bottom, so I will bring that one up first. Now I've got the two opposite oranges. I've got the blue opposite here. So what I want to do is if this outer is a blue, then this piece over here needs to be a blue. In other words, the inner is a yellow. I don't want a yellow piece, I want a blue. So we're going to turn that around. And what that does firstly, is you can see it deals with the first part of that. Now I've got a blue yellow sitting here. Over here, I've got a yellow blue. So I clearly now just need to somehow flip this around. So the easiest way that I know to do that is just to bring it down to the bottom, as I normally would. And now it's here, so I can turn it off to one side and bring it back up to that position. Now, I do need to, because I haven't turned this up, and you can see that that should be an orange over there, and also the white pieces were out. So that's just finishing that off. That can now be brought up by those standard turns. So now I've got the two oranges here. I've got the yellow, blue, blue, yellow. I can turn them around, and that completes the reduction of those central edges. So at this point, the puzzle is essentially behaving like a Grills 1 puzzle, as if there were no circles. Because if you think about what the circles do, the circles do not unreduce those things, because here we would have that doesn't actually change any of these. The thing that changes these is when we turn the circle. So this is now behaving as a Grills 1. So the next stage of this solve is to solve the triangles. And I don't want to turn the white face. As soon as I turn the white face, I undo all the good work that I've just done. So what I would generally do here is place the white triangles first, and that's as simple as turning that one off, bringing its position down, putting it up, undoing. And because I don't know anything about the corners, I could happily I don't need to get anything back to a particular state yet. I could grab this one, put that white one on, put it up. There's one more white, it's over here. So let's bring it around over to this face somehow, and that can just be turned like so. And now bring its position down, put the white on, put it up. So the white triangles are done. I haven't turned the white face, so that's all okay. Now I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to do these triangles, the lower ones here, and just use the yellow face to get it. So I see there's a green there, there's a green up there, so I'll place that green one down first, and I'm aiming for 2 down the bottom. There's one orange. Do I have an orange up here? Not yet. Let's go to the blue. There's a couple of blues over here, so I can firstly place that first one, and then perhaps put the other one here, and then just turn that face to put the 2 blues at the bottom. There's a couple of reds up here. I just need to place one of them for now, and then that face can be turned, put those at the bottom. The greens are done, just need an orange. Oh, and I actually need it to be next to the other one. So we'll turn that around. Okay. Now, just checking, they're done, they're done, they're done. The whites haven't been touched. And now I'm just treating this as grabbing anything from that yellow face and placing it where it belongs in these side faces. I'll just put a red where it shouldn't have gone. Let's get that orange out. Let's, in fact, get that green one out. Put the orange in. There's a red, which brings out a blue. And what do we got now? Just a red and an orange to essentially swap. So we'll put that orange in and then go back to this side and place the red. And of course, once they're done, the yellows are automatically placed as well. Now at this stage, the thing to do is to check whether there is a single twisted corner. It's not as bad fixing this up at the end on these sort of puzzles where they're mostly one faces, but it still is easy to do it now. So what I want to do here is just get the 4 correct white corners onto this white face. Grab them from the bottom. They don't have to be oriented. So white, blue, orange goes in that position. So I'm just going to turn it up. And you'll notice that as I do that, I am not turning the white face, which is the main thing here. I'll put this white, green, red in position. The white, blue, red is over here. Is there one more? White, orange, green, and that belongs over here. Now, if I can place them correctly oriented, I will, but there's no worry about that. And then I just want to look up to this yellow face. I don't even think it matters whether they are in 2 cycle, 3 cycle, whatever. For the sake of just in case, I'm going to say get the yellows into some kind of 3 cycle. So I don't want a swap of 2 pieces essentially. So that yellow, green, orange is in position. What about the others? Blue, red goes to there, blue, orange to there, green, red to there. So that's a 3 cycle. I'm happy with that. I can now go and look at whether any corners need to be twisted. So if I have these white ones here, they are correctly oriented. So I'm going to call them a rotation of 0. This one here has been rotated clockwise. I'll call that a +1. This one has been rotated clockwise. It's another +1, which gives me an overall +2. I'll do the same thing on the yellows. There's zeros. I can ignore them. This one has been rotated clockwise. That is now a +3. This one has been rotated clockwise. That's a +4, but really it's a +1. So in terms of thinking about the numbers here, that's a 0. But if I do a +1, a +2, and a +3, it's back to 0. So what I'm interested in is essentially knowing, is it 0, 3, -3, or is it something else? And we discovered that overall we had a +1. Now what that means is that I simply need to turn a corner so that it overall becomes 0 or 3 or -3. So if I turn this corner back like that, and that'll be a 0, but I'll just count them up again to double check here. That's a +1. That's a +2 overall. They're done. And that's now a +3. So essentially that equates to a 0 overall. That is what I want. And that's how you fix a single twisted corner. What we're guaranteed now is that later on in the solve, in fact, right near the end of the solve, that will not occur. So this is a much easier time to do that. Now, clearly I've turned the corner and it's that one there. And then we can see because the triangles are out. So before we move on, what we need to do is just replace those triangles. And for example, there's a red there that needs to go here. So I would turn that off. Notice that I'm going to turn this corner anti-clockwise, put it back on, and turn a corner clockwise. So I did that way and that way. It's brought it back to where it should be. So that's okay. Same thing, putting this blue in. It's going to be turned clockwise. Now it's going to be turned anti-clockwise. So the triangles are back, and you might be thinking, but they were different corners. Surely that affects something. Well, no, not really. There's +1, +2. They're both zeros. So here we've got a -1. It's gone anti-clockwise. So that's down to +1 overall. And another -1, which is down to 0. So we're all good. And not only have we checked for a single twisted corner, but we've got the triangles back to where they should be as well. We are now ready to move on to the next stage, which is to reduce the big edges. And what this means is basically getting, if that's a red, white there, I want red, white, red, white. So one complete edge. Now again, I don't want to turn the white face at any time here. There are 2 ways to approach this. One of the ways is the way that I'm going to do on the Mercury style puzzles. And then the other way is a way that can be done on this puzzle as well. So I'll show you both ways. Pretty similar. But what I want to look for initially is any kind of central edge here that can turn to correctly place itself next to one of its edge wings. So I can see that I've got, let's have a look. I don't like the look of that orange green. I'm going to find the other one. I've focused on orange greens here, so that'll do. What I can do is any face turns are totally fine. It does not affect the triangles. Now where did that, let me have a look at that. The orange green is going to go to there. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to place this piece this orange green piece here so that, now in fact I don't want to do that. I want to get the other orange green, which is over here. So let me just grab that one. Okay, that's better. The reason for that is that when I turn this around, I want it to match. So if the green's there, the orange needs to be here. So this is the first method of doing it. I position the edge wing correctly so that the central edge will turn next to it and make a pair. Now that I've done that, I take that whole triplet off and replace it with anything else that's not yet done. And just ensure that I only turn non-white faces. That's been done. I can now undo that corner turn. And that, of course, puts the triangles back and also keeps our corners correctly twisted. Now, there's the orange-green pair that I just did. The next task is to get this third orange-green piece and put it where it belongs. Now, if we look at how this pair is going to turn, it's going to turn to there, so green-orange. Okay, so that tells me that I need the other green-orange to be a green-orange here. So all I need to do is put it over there, and with any old full move algorithm, just so that that is still in its correct position. Now that that's done, I can do exactly the same thing. Turn that around and now replace that whole triplet with something else. That's done. Undo that corner turn. There we go. It's really simple. There's the first method of doing it. The second method is to pair a couple of edge wings and then put the central edge in. So you'll see why we can do it on this sort of Jupiter style puzzle soon. Let's see what we can do. For example, here's a great one. We've got a green red here and a green red here. Now I note that I could turn that up like so, and I've now got the pair that I want. What I want to do is replace this triplet with something else that hasn't been done, but I don't want to turn the white face. So I'll replace it with, say, this one here. So that's just a 3 cycle, either this one to this one to this one, or it could be this one to this one to this one. Doesn't matter, as long as you don't turn the white face. Okay, that's done that replacement. I can now undo the corner turn so all of that is back where it should be. And I've got the green reds. I was just getting confused by those yellow reds, which have the wrong red yellow in them. That's okay, we'll deal with that soon. The green reds are paired. Now I want to go and find the green red central edge. Okay, it's sitting here. So let's just think, can I get the green up to there? I can't at the moment where it is. I would like to move this around somewhere else. So I'm just going to bring that face, or that edge I should say, up to the top with some face turns. And I'm going to say, is that ready to turn across? No, not yet. So let's do something to bring it there, and we'll just see if this is going to work. Yes, I can just move it around here now with some turns. Okay, now I've got that green-red edge ready to turn in, and I can still do this sort of thing, but what I'm going to do instead of that, and it could be from here or here, doesn't matter where, I'm going to turn that in and then use another one to pull it out and then undo those 2 moves. And that will get the job done as well. So we did the orange green first. We had that green red. I might as well look at this because it just has appeared. So that's good. If we had something like this, what we would do would be to take this central edge out using any sort of turn we like. So I'll just cycle these 3. Okay, then I can basically say turn it up to here. That is now ready to be replaced into its correct position and correct orientation with the same sort of thing. That's done as well. So that's pretty straightforward. So that's the sort of thing we're doing. That's 3 of them done. It's a nice green-yellow pair that's appeared. That often happens. I will continue working through this and cut back in with the last 2 or 3. Okay, I'm down to the last 3 edges here. I've got this one, and this one. And you can see that 2 of them are good. They're sort of pairs. I've got a blue-orange and I've got a white-green here. The third one's not. And that's what I'm aiming for, is 3 sets of paired edges. So with this third one, what I'm going to do is say it's the yellow-green that I would like to try and match with something. So that yellow-green can go over to this yellow-green here like that. What I've got to look for is when I turn back the corner, it's the left piece and the central piece that need to be replaced. So that tells me how I need to reposition this one. In other words, I want to have the white greens over in this position, not in this position. So I will turn that to try and make the third pair. I'll then put the white greens over to that position. And then when I turn the corner back, that gets me the 3 pairs that I wanted. All right, so the trick now is just to go, how do I finish these off? I can see that an orange blue will turn there. So let's get this third piece over to somewhere near where it belongs. And again, I've just got to go, well, when I turn that, the green-yellow pair needs to be over here. So it doesn't matter whether I have it here or here. I just have to think through how to get it to that right-hand side. So I could have it here, for example, turn that across and then turn the piece there, put the replacement up and undo. That puts it on the correct side so that when I return the corner, it correctly makes that triplet. So that's how you want to deal with the last 3. You could, of course, come across with this. In other words, despite your best efforts, you just could not get 3 edges with 3 pairs. You've got one edge with a pair made and the other edge just looks wrong. You've got the central edge flipped next to this one. Well, the way to deal with this, it's actually what you want if you're down to 2. The way to deal with it is to turn the wrong central edge onto the other piece. So this green-red, instead of going here, needs to turn onto its other one like that. Now, I don't have a third piece to replace it with. So what I need to do is turn it onto there and then flip this entire triplet. So flip that triplet in place. You can do that however you like. I would normally do a down, down, up, up. And then here it is here, and replace it by turning its position, moving it up onto its position, and then undo, undo. Now it's over here. I'll return the blue-orange, which has correctly been made, and that green-red has also correctly been made. So that's the worst and the hardest you'll come across here. The next stage of the solve is to place or solve these reduced big edges. I cannot, of course, turn the white face. So, for example, if I want to place this white green, I would need to do it without turning the white face. There's a white blue down there, which I can take to the bottom and then turn to the top. Here's a white red that can just go straight up. Same thing with the white orange. Turn that into place. Okay, so they're done. The next thing I would be doing would be placing 3 middle layer edges. And then using that 4th one to get the back 2 correctly placed. Let's see what they are. Yellow green, so I can turn that one around. Yellow red goes into place. Let's see what I've got. I now have yellow orange, blue yellow. So I'm going to be left with some kind of 3 cycle. This is now just standard 3x3. So you could have, let's say, a swap of 2 edges. That's fine. You would just turn the yellow face 1 turn and resolve. You could have 2 edges flipped in place. That's also fine. You just flip both of them using what I showed about a minute and a half ago. Here we've just got a normal 3 cycle. So we will finish that off. We're now down to solving the corners. And the nice thing about the corners is you can turn any face you like, even the white face. I'm going to use the corner piece series here, so I'm just looking to find any corner that will roll. I'll do this one here. That's in position. I'm going to continue working through them. And we'll eventually get down to the last three, which will be in some sort of configuration. I can make that come to there. That's going to go across, and this white, red, green will go to that position. And solve. And as expected, there are no issues with a single twisted corner because we dealt with that much earlier. So if you're here going, how do you do a single twisted corner? Go back much earlier in the video. As it is, that is the Crazy Grills Jupiter. Solved. As always, thanks for watching.